Hello and welcome back everyone to another FSeries Friday. If you are not already, get subscribed. What are you doing? Go click the button down below because we will be here every single Friday at 6 p.m. Today we have got Steph, Beth and Kira with me today,
yesterday, tomorrow.
And Formula One this season, 2021, has two new rookies. So we've got Yuki and we have got Mick. So we're just going to have a quick chat about what we think is going to happen with these guys this season, if they're going to get on good, if they're not going to get on good. And we're going to look back at their F2 and F3 careers as well and just have a quick chat. But firstly, girls, I'm going to put you on the spot. Who do you think is going to come out between Mick and Yuki?
Yuki's going to be the better one.
Ooh, interesting.
No, it's not interesting. It's just fact.
Oh my goodness.
Well, I also think Yuki, but on the face of things, you might have thought that Mick Schumacher, he is the current F2 champion. He's been a previous F3 champion as well, and obviously has that very prestigious name behind him. You would have thought he would have been the one to watch out for, the one that we're all excited about this year, but we've all just said that we're more excited and think Yuki's going to do better. So why is this? Kira, do you want to talk a bit about Yuki and how he kind of came onto the scene?
Yeah, so Yuki is probably, from my perspective anyway, one of the quickest drivers to get into a new series and just go. Formula 4 Japanese, he was just amazing. Came up, I first knew him 2 years ago, so when he came into Formula 3, the new season of like FIA Formula 3, and wow, he was impressive. He didn't do anything like, he didn't win every weekend, you know, he didn't pole set every weekend or whatever, but for me, he was one of those drivers which I could look at and I knew that he was like that extra talent. He reminds me of Max in the aggression side of things, but not that bad aggression, you know, not like Crash Staffen like a couple of years ago. It wasn't giving me that vibes, but he really stuck out. I mean, Formula 3, there's a grid of 30 cars, you know, you really got to stand out, but for me he did. Again, he didn't do anything fantastic, but just the way he drove and the way that he, you know, pervaded himself on the track was incredible. And he just gets up to speed so quickly. I don't know, I said this the other week, I don't know whose video it was, if it was mine, I don't know where I said it, but he just comes up to speed so quickly, and like we saw in Formula 3, came up really fast. Formula 2 just got in the car and went like that, and I have never seen a driver do that before, so I'm just so excited for him, especially in the Alpha Tower. It's not a bad car, it's really not a bad car. They're getting there year by year. We saw what Pierre Gasly done last year. I am 100% sure that Yuki is going to be matching Pierre Gasly this year, so I'm just really excited for him. Obviously no disrespect to Mick at all. Mick has done an amazing job being in Prema for his whole feeder series, and he's done such a good job, but he is going into the Haas, and I feel bad for him because I just don't know what the Haas is going to do.
Nothing, that's what it's going to do.
True. I didn't want to upset Gunther, sorry.
Yeah, I think so. Kira obviously says that Yuki came onto the scene and just got totally up to speed with it, and this is seen through his results as well. In his very first year of F3, he came 9th, which is such an achievement, and he was promoted straight up to F2 the following season and came 3rd. So, as I said, this was the season that Mick Schumacher raced in, or Mick's second season in F2, where he won the championship. But Yuki was only 15 points behind in a car which was arguably a lot worse than the Prema. Because if you do watch F2, you know how dominant the Prema is in the feeder series. Beth and Steph, what do you think? Obviously, we've said that Mick's going to struggle in the Haas. Do you think that he's going to take, so Mick's notorious for kind of taking a year to get to grips with things and then the second year being really dominant. Do you think that this is something we're going to see with him at Haas, or do you think it's going to be a lot more even kind of his first and second year with the team there?
Do you know what? It's really interesting because I feel like he's not going to be dominant, and that it's just because the car is going to be so terrible. And even next year, when we come with the new regulations, it's still going to be it's not going to be a good car, you know, because Haas just doesn't have the means to make a competitive car at the minute. Well, maybe it will with all of this money it's getting now, but I think he's going to struggle as well because he's used to good machinery. So he's had, you know, good machinery throughout his whole career, because I'm not saying it's just because of his name, but that has allowed him access to, you know, Prema, which, like you said, is the top team in the feeder series. So I'm really interested to see how he's going to be dealing with a car that's obviously not going to be competitive. And he's going to be at the back of the grid. So we all know that he's great with his starts. I'm interested to see if he can kind of be similar to someone like Giovinazzi, who, you know, launches off the line and does great stuff. And, you know, at the beginning of the race does really well, but then kind of fades away because the machinery just isn't up to scratch. I don't know. I think the Haas is gonna be a massive factor in his season, obviously, because it's the car he's driving.
Wow.
Wow.
Honestly, I don't know what I'm saying.
Good words. I think one thing with Mick is we do know that he takes 1 year to sort of warm up, and then the second year he's straight out the box and is absolutely fantastic. And I think, in a way, being with the Haas team is sort of a blessing in disguise, because people expect nothing really from the Haas team. We all already know how great Mick is and the trends that he has throughout his racing career, that the second year is where he really does pick it up. So this first year, I think he'll be A-OK. No one will put any pressure on him, because we know what his career is like, and we know the Haas is absolutely awful. However, the Haas team are promising, come the new regulations, that they are going to pick it up. That's where they're putting their focus on. They said that last year, they're saying that this year. So if we then don't start to see Haas picking up the performance and Mick doing something in a car and outperforming the car like we would expect him to in his second year, that is where we're going to get the trouble. However, I'm very excited for Mick being in a team like Haas, like Steph said, with Prema. He was very much used to that team being the team at the front of the field, and this is a completely different environment for him. And I really hope what we see from Mick is what we will see eventually from George Russell. George Russell in fantastic teams throughout his feeder careers, and we would all probably argue that out of the 3 rookies that came up in 2019, George should have been put in a better team. However, he was put in a Williams. But I say this time and time again, that I think George's years in that Williams car is going to make such a difference for his career, because he's going to learn how to go from a team that's really, really struggling and to pick up every single millisecond that he can during the races, during qualifying, constantly outperform that car. So when he comes to a good team, hopefully Mercedes, by at least 2022, if not halfway through 2021, because that's where he should be, and he'll be able to just deliver that much better in a top team straight away. And I really hope Mick has this same plan in his career, and that's what we see from him. It's going to be so integral to his career later on.
So Beth has just made a really interesting point there, although going slightly off topic. Not to worry, we're back now. So we've all said very definitively that we think Yuki is going to come out on top between the two of them. But do we think then that Mick in the long term is going to be the driver more successful out of the two of them? Both of them have good links to kind of more senior teams. It's very, very likely that Mick will find himself in the Ferrari in a couple of years' time. And again, there's a very big possibility that Yuki will find himself in a Red Bull. The AlphaTauri is arguably better than the Haas, but I mean, well, is the Ferrari a better option than the Red Bull?
Yes.
What do we think in long term? Do we think both of them are going to have really long careers, or is it going to be a bit of a... What's your thoughts?
I think Mick, yeah, he's definitely going to have a long career, isn't he? I think because Mick's future is planned out at Ferrari. We know where he's going to go. In 2 years, he's going to be in the Ferrari. It's whether Ferrari are going to pick themselves back up, which I truly believe they are. They've got the budget for it. I know the budget cap's coming down, but the issue with Ferrari isn't the money they've got, whereas AlphaTauri it kind of is. But with Ferrari, it's just the fact they haven't got it right. It's not we don't have money to do this. It's we haven't got it right. We haven't got the people in place. But once they got that in place, they will be back at the top, and Mick will be comfortable winning races. Ferrari may even go back to when they were winning championships. So I think Mick is comfortable there. Yuki, is, on the other hand, is going to be different because we know that he was originally a Honda-backed junior and then made, most Honda-backed juniors will kind of in the last couple of years go to be a Red Bull junior. He is now a Red Bull junior also. However, with Honda stepping away, we did think it may affect him getting this Formula 1 seat, but luckily it didn't. But you never know in a couple of years down the line if he doesn't perform, or even, it doesn't even matter if you don't perform in Red Bull. Helmut Marko just says, see you later, do you know what I mean? So it's not even about that, but Yuki's future, and I think anybody going up the Red Bull programme is, what's the word? No, I don't know how to say it.
Uncertain.
Uncertain. So Mick, I could tell you his future right now. I could tell you what he's doing in 2027. Whereas Yuki, we just don't know. But I don't think it depends because even if in a couple of years Yuki went up to Red Bull and stayed there, and then when Mick gets up to Ferrari, by that point I feel Ferrari may step back ahead of Red Bull, if that makes sense, because Red Bull always kind of stay at this level, whereas I think Ferrari have the resources to go higher and go back to where they were a couple of years ago. So yeah, it's difficult to know how it's going to play out, but with Red Bull's kind of uncertainty, I feel like Mick is the better option for the long run.
Yeah, I agree. I think Mick, like you said, we know exactly Mick's future. He's going to have a long career in Formula 1. It's not disputable. You can't argue it. It just, everyone on that grid, it doesn't matter if Ferrari drop him, which they're not going to, but even if they did, everyone would be fighting to pick up a driver with that name. You know the amount of sponsorships that would come with that name. A team would be, they'll be crawling over each other if Ferrari ever decided to let him go for unknown
Mercedes
reasons.
would pick him back up like they were meant to a couple of years ago. They'd say, I love you
Exactly.
now.
So I'm not joking. Schumacher's going to be on the grid forever. Jesus. But with Yuki, like you said, I think the Red Bull drivers are all expendable in Red Bull's eyes. If you're not Max Verstappen, you are easily replaceable, and I don't know. I'm really interested to see how Yuki would fare against Max, because I do think that we'll see them together in a Red Bull in the coming years. So I'm really interested to see what the dynamic will be between them, because we know that Yuki's an extremely fast driver, and like Kira said, he's got an aggression similar to Max that's not as crash prone. So it would actually be really interesting to see them as teammates, and I don't know if Red Bull would Red Bull promote him and keep them as teammates for a while? I don't know. I'm really excited now. Let's speed it up a couple of years. Let's head to 2025.
You see, this is the thing. I completely agree with both of you. With Mick, we know he's going to be within the sport for a very, very long time. He's, again, similar to George, where he's just at this lower team for now, but we all well know that he is going to be in Ferrari in the next coming years. I am so excited to see what Yuki does, because I think for the first time in a long time, we have a Red Bull Junior that I would argue is the best at performing under pressure, because Yuki was told in F2, if you don't get P4, you're being dropped. And to come into F2 as a rookie with that amount of pressure on him, he just absolutely went for it. The fact that I think it was maybe the last 3 races, we were like, right, okay, he's going to get this P4, he's probably going to get into Formula 1. Good job, Yuki, proud of you. But then, just out of nowhere, the end of the season happens and we're like, hang on, he's 2 points off P2. Where on earth did he do this? He seems to take it to the next level. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Red Bull do what they always do and put Yuki in that Red Bull seat, like they did with Pierre, like they did with Alex. But I would argue that out of all the drivers that have come through, he's got the best chance of matching Max, and that's where it's going to be really, really exciting. But then at the end of the day, 2022 regs, anything could happen. Like Williams, Alpha and Haas could be the top teams. We don't know.
No.
It's just one of those
that's
things.
not going to happen.
Why not? Why not?
Can
we have a little bit
change
of
that?
faith? But no, I'm really excited to see Yuki's career, because I think maybe Yuki could have a career as interesting. I'm talking absolute waffle, I'm so sorry. But maybe Yuki could have a career as interesting as Carlos, where I could genuinely see him jumping from team to team, because he's so adaptable and could probably do that. Whereas Mick's going for the Ferrari.
Right, this has been such an interesting chat, girls. I agree with pretty much every single point we have said. Very quickly, no waffling. We're just gonna tell me a name. We're gonna do a quick fire. I've got 3 questions.
Yeah.
and it's who do you think will be the first two, and you're going to say Mick or Yuki.
Yeah.
Who do you think will be the first to score points?
Yuki.
Yuki.
UK.
First to crash.
Mick.
Yuki.
Yuki.
And first to get a podium.
Oh no, I lied. I should have said Mick. Yuki.
Mick.
Yuki.
Oh no, Mick. Mick.
This
And
was
there we
quick
have
fire.
it.
Sorry.
You were all so bad at that. You can't change your answers. It's quick fire.
Oh my goodness me. Well, anyway, girls, that has been such a good chat. We have had great opinions.
Wow, a classic F-Series end to a video. We love to see it.
We're going to go now. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe. Leave a comment down below. Tell me who you think will be first to. Thank you for watching. What else do I need to say?
Like the video.
Like the video.
Like the video. Goodbye.